إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا ومن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the subject of today's khutbah is the moral of teaching of the stories of Al-Qur'an, part 3. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the Qur'an in Surah Qasas, verse number 21, He, Musa, therefore, got away therefrom, left that place in fear and caution. This khutbah is started with the journey of Musa alayhi salam from the palace of Fir'aun to the place in Madyan, inshallah. So he got away from that place in fear and caution. He prayed at the time of departing from that place, looking around cautiously. He prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi nazzini min al-qawmi al-zalimin. O my Rabb, save me from the nation of wrongdoers. Then when he turned his face toward the land of Madyan, he said, I do hope that my Rabb will show me the smooth and straight path. قال عسى ربي أن يهديني سواء السبيل. He turned his face towards Madyan and he prayed this, that hopefully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to show him the smooth and straight path. We'll know later on how smooth it was, inshallah, in the later part of the khutbah. And when Musa arrived, at the watering place in Madyan, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, from Egypt to Madyan, the distance is about almost 500 kilometers. There was no highway. There was no sign of the road. There was no sign of the place at that time. Musa alayhi salam arrived. We cannot imagine how hardship he had to feel in the way from Egypt to Madyan. When he was tired, exhausted by the long journey, he was taking rest under the shade of a tree. And he found there a group of men watering their flocks, and beside them he found two women who were keeping back their flocks. They couldn't water their flocks. He said, what is the matter with you? He is talking to the girls there. What is the matter with you? What is the problem? They said, we cannot water our flocks until the shepherds take back their flocks, and our father is a very old man. So he watered their flocks. Then he turned back to the shade. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى الظِّلِّ. Then he went back to the shade of the tree. And then he prayed this. This is very, very beautiful prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all of us. He prayed to Allah. فَقَالَ رَبِّي إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٌ. O my Rabb, O my Lord, truly I am in desperate need of whatever good that you may send down to me. Right after this, two girls, they went back to their house, and then one of them came to him, to Musa alayhi salam, walking bashfully. This is the direct description by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And said, my father is calling you, and he wishes to reward you for watering our flocks for us. When Musa alayhi salam came to him and described his story, the old man said, have no fear, you have escaped from those wicked places. In the beginning of the journey of Musa alayhi salam from the palace of Fir'aun, he prayed, and that prayer is fulfilled in the house of gentleman here. One of them said, Father, hire him. One of the girls said, truly the best of men for you to employ or hire is the man who is strong and trustworthy. Look who is certifying the character of Musa alayhi salam. One of the girls, they watched him, that he is strong, qawiyyun amin. They use these two words, strong and trustworthy. The old man said to Musa alayhi salam, I'm willing to give you one of my daughters in marriage if you stay in my service for 8 years. If you do 10 years, that would be gracious for you. For I do not impose any hardships on you. Allah willing, inshallah, you will find me one of the righteous. So he was in the righteous environment in that land of Madyan. Musa alayhi salam replied, so be it, an agreement between me and you. Then whichever of the two terms I complete, Musa alayhi salam is saying, let there be no compulsion on me. Be Allah a witness to what we say. Allah is the surety over what we have agreed upon. Now, the journey from Madyan to Egypt is starting again. After spending there long time, like 8 years or 10 years, Musa alayhi salam is coming back to his homeland. Then when Musa was traveling with his family, he saw the direction of Mount Tur. He said to his family, stay here. I saw a fire and I hope to bring some information from there. First intention of Musa alayhi salam is to get information, as I said earlier. There was no highway at that time. There was no sign of the roads at that time. No smoothness to drive any car, any bus, or any train at that time. Easy to be lost in that wilderness. So he was hoping to get some information by seeing that fire, or a lighted torch with which you may warm yourselves. In Musa alayhi salam's heart or mind, two intentions were working. That he might get information from there, some guidance, or a torch to be lighted, so that his family members get some warmth with that fire. But something else happened. Something great things happened. When he reached there, a voice called out to him from the right side of the valley, of the blessed spot from the tree, saying, O Musa, surely I am Allah, the Rabb, the Lord of the worlds. Inni an Allah, Rabbul Alameen. The very voice of our Creator was sounding from that tree, and the very ears of Musa alayhi salam was absorbing that very voice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking some questions to Musa alayhi salam to open his eyes, inner eyes, and prepare himself for the mission he is going to be sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. O Musa, what is in your hand? وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا Musa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't know what Musa alayhi salam was holding in his hand. Of course he knows. But he's asking again. Musa alayhi salam replied, "It is my staff. I lean on it. I beat down leaves with it for my flocks. And I have also other uses for it." Musa alayhi salam described three functions of his staff. This is my staff. I lean on it. That means he is dependent on that staff. And he used to beat down leaves for his flocks. His flocks also were dependent on this staff because they need leaves to eat. And he has some other numerous uses of it. By having this confirmation that you are holding this staff, this is yours, you use it for yourselves, you use it for your flocks, and you use it for some other stuff, some other things for yourself. Now see what is happening to it. You are saying that this is yours. You can use it. But let's see what's going to happen to this right now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Toss it down, O Musa. Throw it down." He tossed it down and saw that it became a snake active in motion. He was scared. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Catch it and do not be afraid. We shall change it to its original shape. Now put your hand under your armpit and it shall become shining white without hurting you. This will be another sign." So the ever familiar staff of yours, with the command of myself, it becomes snake. That means that everything is under my control. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And another sign is, put your hand under your armpit and it's going to come out, shining white without hurting yourself. These two signs, these two miracles are given to you, O Musa, in order to show you some of our great signs, the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, go to Fir'aun, because he has intended, he was indeed transgressed all bounds. Musa alayhi salam was spent few years in Madyan, maintained family life, peaceful life, grazing the flocks under the vast sky, vast field, meadow, enjoyed that life. And then he was coming back to see his family in Egypt. He didn't intend to go the big power of Fir'aun, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended something else about him. Then Musa alayhi salam asked help to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that he can execute, he can perform this great responsibility of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala properly. He said, قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. He asked, ease my task, my job, my responsibility, make it easy, and remove the impediment from my speech so that people can understand what I say. And he prayed, another prayer is, and grant me a minister, helper, a wazir, from my family, Harun, my brother. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded, your request is granted, O Musa. we had indeed bestowed a favor on you before. At this very moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding Musa alayhi salam so that he can get the courage in his heart, so that he cannot be discouraged by this grand force in front of him, and only two of them, nobody else, with the two great signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why, to strengthen his faith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving some flashback in this incident. When you inspired your mother, put your child in the chest, in the basket, and throw the chest into the river. The river will cast him on to the bank. Imagine, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. A mother is asked to put his son, his child, newly born child, into the basket and throw it to the river. And Allah is saying that the river will cast to the bank of the river. Everything listens to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The staff of Musa alayhi salam turned into snake right away. The river is bringing the basket to the shore. Now I made you an object of love and orange things that you may be brought up under my eye. That Allah is saying to him that you are all the time under my supervision, under my eyes. And again, when you killed a man, this is another most important reminding for Musa alayhi salam. That when you killed a man, we saved you from the distress. We tested you through the various trials. You stayed a number of years with the people of Madyan in Surah Taha, verse number 40. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the list of Musa alayhi salam's life. That how he prepared him. With the people of Madyan, now you have come here, or preordained, O Musa. You have come to the sacred valley of Tur after spending all the years, all the places we designed for you. You are all the time under our supervision. وَاسْتَنَاتُكَ لِنَفْسِي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in Surah Taha, verse number 41, that I have prepared you for my service. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared Musa alayhi salam for his service. Now how he should preach Islam. And go, you and your brother, with my signs, and do not neglect to mention me. Remember me. Go, both of you, to Fir'aun, for he has indeed transgressed all bounds. Now how should they speak to him? But they speak to him mildly, in gentle words. Perhaps he may take warning of fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we are talking about the One, the Almighty. About Him, this verse is very relevant. That if the water of the ocean were ink, with which to write the words of my Rabb, the ocean was surely consumed, eat up, dried up, before the words of my Rabb are finished. Even if we brought another ocean, similar quantity is going to be replenished, it's going to be refilled, fill it up again, and nothing is going to be enough to express the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, that day when we will set the mountains in motion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking, that you will see the earth as a barren waste when we shall assemble the mankind all together, leaving not even a single soul behind. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, before that day come, let us educate ourselves with the teaching of Islam, and let us preach the beautiful religion of Islam to this land. And be able to do so, let us pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that we can have the teaching of Qur'an Kareem and the tradition of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفر واتوب إليه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى ما بعد. وأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين. وقال سبحانه وتعالى فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.